Educating, informing, serving. Fact TV, keeping government honest.
Well, then I'm going to call the Select Board meeting to order on February 18th, 2021 at 6:30 p.m. We are being live streamed by Fact TV tonight, and I'm going to call roll of the Select Board first, and I will ask you to indicate whether or not there is anybody with you in the room. Cheryl Mayberry,
Here.
and you are alone, except
Oh,
for the cat?
yeah, except for my furry friends.
Okay. Steve DeLessio?
Here with the fur babies.
Okay, all right, gotcha. And I'm Peggy Pashir, and I am alone. Sarah Downing,
I'm here and I'm alone.
she's at Town Hall. And Regina Borden,
I'm here and I'm alone.
and she is in Vermont, and she is our recorder for tonight. She will be taking our minutes, as always. I see that we have two people in the public, and I believe we have Jody Spivey, is that correct?
Yes.
And we have Shane O'Keefe. I know, Shane, that you would like to speak. Mr. Spivey, do you want to speak tonight?
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Shane,
I wasn't intending to speak. I was just hoping to observe and, if necessary, speak.
which one is that? Shane, is that what you speak?
Yes, this is Shane O'Keefe. I apologize.
Okay, all right. Well, then we will begin with our regular agenda. And I'll start with accounts payable, please.
I make a motion to accept the accounts payable check register in the total amount of $666,738.81 for checks issued 2/19/21. This includes a payment to the Fall Mountain Regional School District of $607,559.42.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments about the accounts payable? Hearing none, then I will call a roll call vote. All those in favor, Steve DeLessio,
Aye.
Cheryl Mayberry,
Aye.
and I vote aye as well. The accounts payable is approved.
I make a motion to accept the payroll register totaling $32,863.42 for checks dated 2/19/21 and the 9/41 payroll tax transfer of $6,623.78 for checks dated 2/19/21.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments about the payroll register? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor, Steve DeLessio,
Aye.
Cheryl Mayberry,
Aye.
and I'm Peggy Pashir, and I vote aye. And those of you who are observing, I never call for the nays because there are only three of us. And if there are three yeses, there's no point in calling for a nay. There's no one else to vote. Thank you. The payroll is approved.
I just have a question. The agenda is calling for minutes of February 9th. Is that February 11th?
Oh, it should be the 11th, sorry.
Okay, I make a motion to accept the select board minutes of February 11th, 2021.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments about them? Regina, you did a very good job taking those minutes, which I know were long and potentially difficult to record. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
If there are no questions or comments, then I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, Steve DeLessio,
Aye.
Cheryl Mayberry,
Aye.
and I vote aye. They are approved.
I make a motion to accept the non-public select board session minutes of February 11th, 2021, and they shall remain sealed.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments about them? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor, Cheryl Mayberry,
Aye.
Steve DeLessio,
Aye.
and Peggy Pashir votes aye. They are approved and sealed.
I make a motion to, I acknowledge the committee reports from the planning board meeting of February 1st, 2021. And that's incorrect, that date as
Yeah,
well.
it's wrong. It would
Oh,
be the the
The 10th?
9th, the 9th.
Must be
The
having a
ninth.
bad day today with this. Yeah.
Yeah. I make a motion to accept the planning board minutes of February 9th, 2021, and the library trustees minutes of February 9th, 2020, as
Actually,
acknowledged.
all we have to do is acknowledge them. We don't
That's
have
correct.
to accept
Right.
them. So they are so acknowledged.
I make a motion to accept property tax refunds for overpayments on map utility -01B for $9.07, and for map 12, lot 39, sublot 0 for $27.36.
second,
Are there any questions or comments about either of these? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor, Steve DeLazio,
Aye.
Cheryl Mayberry,
aye,
and I vote aye. They are approved.
I make a motion to accept the certification of yield taxes and assess and warrant for a timber tax warrant on map 7, lot 18, sublot 0, in the amount of $64.61.
second,
Are there any questions or comments about this? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor, Cheryl,
aye,
Steve,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The timber tax warrant is approved.
I make a motion to accept building permit 2021-06 for map 10, lot 6, sublot 0, to construct a 387-foot by 50-foot commercial chicken house.
second,
Are there any questions or comments about it? I think this is the Hubbard Farm, Pomeroy Farm. Is that
Pomeroy lot, yes.
Pomeroy lot?
It was approved back in July at the select board meeting, at the planning board meeting.
Planning board meeting. I remember reading that.
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Steve,
Aye.
Cheryl,
aye,
and I vote aye. The building permit is granted. The next, and under old business, we have a letter, I believe, that we have received regarding last week's meeting and discussion. Can you put it up for us to see?
Yep. Let me do sharing again.
This is a letter we received following our last select board meeting. It is written by Aquila and Shirley Gorton. We will see that you get a copy of it, Regina, for your minutes.
Thank you.
Okay, it's just they were having difficulty being able to speak last week, so they sent this in lieu of their being able to comment last week. Is there any comment from the select board? Okay, hearing none, we'll simply accept that. Thank you, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
I take it Jody or Shane, did you want to make any comment about it?
I didn't have enough chance to read it.
Well, they were sort of filling in from last week's discussion that in fact, they are people who use that class 6 road to get down to do their volunteer work on the trails, as well as ride their own snowmobiles down that way. Okay. Jody, you have nothing to say? All
he's
right.
on mute.
Okay, then we'll go to the next item, which is the Vachon Cloquet 2019 audit representation letter. Last week, we signed the letter that permitted them to do the audit. This is the letter which we have all received copies of from Rich Kreisel, which in fact indicates that they did the audit for 2019. Have you all had a chance to look at it?
Yes,
Okay, well, I think it just calls for one signature. Can you move it beyond that first page, Sarah? To see if, I think that's right.
This is for the 2019 audit.
Yeah, yes, yes,
I
yes.
thought we approved it last week.
That was the
be-
permission to do the audit. This is the letter that says they did the audit, and this is what they found.
Okay,
So I move to have Peggy as chairwoman of the board to sign this letter for Vashon and Cauquet.
second.
Are there any questions or other comments about it? It's pretty standard, you know, they cite us as usual that we don't do that particular accounting procedure which checks our liability for our retirement plans. They've been saying that every year. I've forgotten which paragraph it is, but it's near the beginning. I think it's
Yeah.
probably on page 1, but other than that, the Gatsby 75, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they cite that again, but
Yeah.
other than that, it seems that everything is in order. So I will call for a vote then. All those in favor of my signing this letter, please signify by saying aye. Steve
Aye.
Delfeo, Cheryl Mayberry,
Aye.
and I vote aye. So that is approved and I will come in and sign it. We have a paving list from Mike Rao. Do you want it up so you can all look at it?
I get that. Hold on. I have to dig for that one. Paving roads. Let me do file share.
This is, I'm sure, potentially subject to change, except for the very first item on that list, which is Elm Street.
Correct. He had intended to do more roads in North Walpole. So number 7 is Kilburn Street, which is up on the hill in North Walpole. And he was going to do some of the surrounding roads like Taylor Street, part of Hillcrest. And so he's hoping that he'll have the time and the funds to do a little more than Kilburn Street. And if not, he'll push some of that into next year. But I believe Kilburn really needs to be done this year. And so he kind of took some of those other roads that had a somewhat lower priority because he needed to fit in the band, you know, needed to have the bandwidth to do Elm Street.
Right, yes, that's right, which will be, there'll be quite a bit of work involved there.
Correct.
Okay,
So the only change that would be like I said, those other side roads up on the hill that are around Kilburn Street.
Taylor, you mentioned Taylor and Hillcrest.
Yeah, Taylor and Hillcrest, and there may have been one more. I know we talked about how Hillcrest really needed to be cut down because they can't really raise the level of the road.
Okay.
And yeah, Taylor's a side street off of Kilburn, I believe, up there. So he just wanted to get some of those roads done on the list because, as you know, he tries to go, you know, do North Walpole, do Walpole, and do back and forth.
Right, right, and it would be good if he could do them while he's up there, do them
Right.
all at once.
Yeah.
So. Well, good, well,
Yeah.
we'll hope he'll have enough time and money left to do those then. And these are we asked for the plow areas. Do you want to look at those?
I'm fine. Just make sure we don't lose sight of Merv Stevens dry well.
Oh, yes, that has to be done this
Yes,
summer.
yeah, I
we
will
just don't lose
make
sight of it.
yeah, I will make sure that that is on the schedule, and I'll ask him for a date.
That's good. Is there anything else that needs to come up under old business? Anything? I don't. Seems like we just met, so no, there's probably not much new on any of those other things we're carrying forward.
Not yet.
Not yet. And then, so is there any other old business to come up before the board tonight? If not, I'll move to new business. I told Sarah I wasn't sure why we were posting an anonymous letter. It's very difficult to deal with letters when they come in and they have no signatures on them. I recognize that there is a continuing concern about signs that are on a property on North Road. And I can report that the police this week had a discussion with the gentleman who lives there. He hadn't thought about the fact that children might be looking at some of his signs. Whether that will motivate him to remove them, I'm not sure, but it is private property. He also feels, frankly, at least as I'm reporting hearsay, because I got it from the police, I wasn't speaking to him directly, but that he has been harassed by some of his neighbors who have been calling him names. And so there just seems to be generally unhappiness among some of the neighbors up there. So that's really all I can report. There is not anything we can do. If those political signs were on public property, they would have been removed. I mean, quite some time ago, but this is.
I drove up there, Peggy, to see this firsthand,
Yep,
and it's not the political signs that are
Causing
that are
offense?
it's how he's presenting the political sign, right? There's no need for vulgarity in all of it, right? And foul language is part of it. If he
And
just had, dislike Biden on a sign or dislike Trump on a sign, I wouldn't care less. But the fact that he has to use
use
foul
foul,
language,
and that's
foul
what,
language within the sign I just think that's pushing the limit.
but that's what the police discussed with him, and he hadn't
Yeah.
told them on it, quite honestly. He hadn't thought about it since it was the word that people used for him. So,
Yeah.
but perhaps because they were talking to him about children in the neighborhood, maybe he will remove it.
He'll rethink it.
Right. That's right. They felt that maybe they'd made some progress at any rate. The other next item is we have a thank you note from the Census Bureau. They evidently have thanked us because they used town hall before we had it absolutely closed to everybody for census training. And that's what we've received a note of thank you about. Is there any other new business to come before the board? No? Well, hearing none, I am going to adjourn the public meeting of the select board and ask for a motion to go into the Hooper trustee meeting, please.